So I'm back here at my encampment. I'm in front of my tent here. And it's been about 2 weeks since I came back from Toronto. I met up with my good friend Russell Peters, and we hung out for the day. Monday, November 11th, which was Remembrance Day. It'll be a day that I remember, obviously, forever. And I realized actually how down to earth Russell Peters actually is. It was a pretty cool experience. I treated him just like I would treat anybody else, one of my buddies. And, we went and hung out at the mall for 6 hours. It was funny, a lot of people, when they seen Russell with me and his other buddy, they assumed, obviously, that we were like his entourage or his security. So that was an ongoing joke for a bit. And, then Russell's like, we kind of look like three undercover cops. You got an Indian guy, a black guy, and a white guy. And we're walking through the mall. But it was howls for sure. It was. It's something that I'll never forget. And, the amount of people that guy can draw because they get him, you know what I mean? And he's a really down-to-earth guy when you meet him as well. He doesn't turn people away. Anybody that wanted a picture, they got a picture with him. It was actually good to see. But, he helped me out quite a bit. And, just before he left on the Tuesday to go back, or the Wednesday, sorry, I met up with him. That's where we took that picture that I posted. And, he gave me a little bit of a mission when I came back to Hamilton. I was coming back earlier that day. And he gave me a little bit of a mission. And, he said to me, brother, when you get back, I want you to find yourself a place. So, I knew that, he definitely understands my situation. He's showing compassion about my situation, and he really truly wants to help me get out of this situation. He actually sent me something. I wrote it down here. And, it was about the stuff that, I'm dealing with right now, and a lot of people deal with, that, we're not heard. And, I've been censored through the ass. We all know it. When I first started this platform, it was called The Father's Truth. Now I've changed it to The Unfiltered Truth, because everything needs to be unfiltered these days. There's too much bullshit out there. But when I first started The Father's Truth, my posts and my content received a lot of support. And of course, then standing up in 2020 against the government and organizing a protest for family law reform on April 24th of 2020, I received a lot of backlash from the government on that. As you can imagine, anybody in that situation, we just actually witnessed it with the people involved with the Freedom Convoy protest. There's a lot of things there. So you can imagine what happens. My social media content has been flagged. It's been filtered. So that's why I started The Unfiltered Truth. And, I know that Russell Peters understands that. He's also got some people that are good friends of his that also kind of do what I do. For example, Joe Rogan. So I'm not saying I'm a Joe Rogan or anything, but, the Canadian content and, the censorship that's happening here in Canada is unreal. We've already experienced it with Bill C-11, Bill C-63 that's right now up in the air is going to be very damaging to anybody out there that is speaking against the government on issues that we should be speaking about. They should not be silencing us on these issues. So, like one of the things that Russell said to me was that, we're going to turn your shit around. I got you. So when I came back to Hamilton, I posted on my social media that I was looking for a place. And, you know, I knew that I needed to find somebody that, first of all, understood my situation, second of all, can show some compassion, and thirdly, a person that I can trust. Because, you know, over the last 5 years, I've burnt some bridges, but also other people have burnt a lot of bridges too. So, you know, those are my three main things that I have to look for going forward with this, because, you know, this is actually much bigger than I even think, and I want to realize, but it's going to be a lot bigger than what everybody that's watching or has watched my content will ever realize that's going to happen. So my first step was, you know, coming back, finding a place. I had an old friend reach out to me. She was like, you know, I have this place, I just got it. There's 2 bedrooms, there's a bathroom, you got your own space. Let's go look at it. If it's something for you, then, you know, I want to help you out. So yesterday we went and looked at it, and it's perfect. It's out in Niagara-on-the-Lake. There's vineyards everywhere, perfect atmosphere, the exact scenery I need for the Unfiltered Truth. So I decided to go for it. So step 1's complete. Finally, after I think I looked it up, 379 days I have been homeless out here. This is my 3rd tent now, but, you know, tenting it, camping, I'm out in the wilderness, I'm not around everybody, but I get the judgment constantly as soon as I mention that I'm homeless. Because most people will think that you're a drug addict, you're a loser in life, you're an alcoholic, you're this, you're that, everything, right? They don't understand the full concept of why I might be here. And I'm none of those things. I don't agree with drugs at all. I don't have, you know, I'm not going to get into it, is what I'm going to say. But, you know, I have a lot of family members that do it. I don't agree with it. It fucks their life. I've seen it literally. It's actually kind of affected mine. It's affected other of my family members' lives. So, yeah, I'm not on that page, and I'm not there. So that's why I stay out here. I stay away from all of that shit that's out there, because I know it is a problem. It's a major problem. But the major problem, we have to also place some blame on the governments that aren't doing anything about this. The municipal governments that aren't giving these people shelter and the proper, you know, treatment that they need. They all need is, you know, they're giving people literally Band-Aid-ish things that there's bigger problems that they have. So, you know, until these type of things start happening, especially here in Canada, we're going to be in the same situation. So again, you know, I had to do the first step, which was get myself out of this situation. And I'm getting some help doing that. And I do have so much gratitude, because I know that, you know, God put all of these people in my path on this journey for a reason. And I always knew that. People that have known me for my life or have followed me for the last 5 years, you know that I've always had that in the back of my mind and in my heart, that I'm doing the right thing no matter what anybody else thinks. Because everybody, again, is going to have a judgment these days. It's just the way that it is. So again, now the second part is, once I get into this place, unfortunately I can only get in January, mid-January. We're trying to aim for the 10th, but at the latest it's going to be January 15th. So that's the only downfall, is that I'm still going to be out here approximately another 7 weeks. It is what it is. You know, I can't really push it forward. At least step 1's done. You know, I can get a roof over my head, get some heat, because it's mighty cold. Last night it was freezing. I had a full get up on. I had snow pants, boots, coat, gloves, everything, and I was still cold. So yeah, I got to figure out some sort of heat. My brother's actually here today giving me a hand, so he's actually out right now gathering some wood so that we can start a fire. I got a bunch of coffee cups that I've been collecting and some cardboard, so we're going to burn that after and warm up a little bit. But you know, these are all things that I don't think that a lot of people understand. You know, when you're homeless, that these are things that you have to do. And especially me being out in like the bush area, at least I have some of these things around me where I can start a fire. Whereas a lot of these people that are homeless, that, you know, have these drug issues and that are in the cities, they can't have fires. So I have no idea really how they do it. I have not a clue. But, you know, 2025, I've already placed some videos out there. 2025, we are going to go into a new era. And that era is the era of truth. There's no doubt about it. You know, with Trump taking over in January of 2025 in the US, regaining presidency, he's going to make some changes that should have been made long time ago. They're going to be made. Freedom of speech needs to be protected. And that's going to happen over the United States. Yet here in Canada, we're being silenced like crazy. And again, you know, my content on Facebook, now I'm receiving a lot of stuff on TikTok. My posts are being flagged. I'm getting notifications from TikTok that my posts are being flagged for tobacco, alcohol, or drug use. But these are the type of videos that I'm putting out. So I'm noticing that, you know, some of my videos get about 50,000 views, but then as soon as that happens, I go through a spell that I'm not even receiving like 100. So the censorship is real here in Canada, and it's because people like myself are giving facts. You know, anything that I put out there, I research it and I make sure that it is the right information that I'm giving everybody. So that's what I'm going to do in the new year. The Unfiltered Truth is going to be part of the new era of truth. Because next year, when we have election time, the Liberal government and Justin Trudeau can forget about regaining power. Pierre Poilievre will become the Prime Minister. And once that happens, 80% of the news media out there is going to be defunded. They're not going to have funds anymore because they're all government funded. So CBC, CTV, all of these stations, they're going to be no more. We're going to need trusted news sources. You know, trusted news sources like Rebel News, who go out there and get arrested for fucking speaking the truth. Or new platforms like the Unfiltered Truth, like myself, who has stood up to these systems. I have gone through the ringer with this system, but I haven't given up. And I'm not going to give up. Because you can't give up in these situations. That's what they want. And I'm never going to allow that to happen, because I've always done this for one thing, for actually two things, and that's my kids. So once that line was crossed, everything else is fair game. So I look forward to 2025. Although it's been 379 days, it's been 379 days of lessons. It truly has been. Because I've actually really seen how the world is and why I need to continue doing what I do. So everybody that has supported me, I completely appreciate you 100%. You know, I send most of my messages to the people that have helped me out. I keep in contact with people because that's who I am. Not like these other advocates out there that are only about themselves. We have to stick together. We need to unite. We have to show compassion so that we can understand and we can change. And that's what we're going to do in 2025. So again, I've dropped the website earlier last week, unfilteredtruth.ca. I've added a lot of content. I'm going to be looking for some help in the future once things get going, because I can't do all of this myself, and I realize that it's a lot of work. I got to do what I got to do, and that's to launch the Unfiltered Truth next year. Obviously, I'm going to just put it out there. My first guest is going to be Russell Peters. I'm going to put it out there to him. He's been helping me out. He's going to help me make this even happen. So Russell Peters is going to be my first guest. We're just going to work around his schedule and make that happen. So there's what's going to happen. Unfiltered Truth, the very first episode, is going to be the one, the only, my good friend, my big brother, Russell Peters. So I obviously look forward to that, and I look forward to everything that 2025 has in store to bring, because we are, like I said, going into a new era, and that era is the era of truth. So until then, stay unfiltered and stay truthful.